Peace, love, and light, everybody. So I'm back home, and there was a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and then I'm going to show you how my plants are burned, and I'm trying to help them recover from that right now. But a lot of when I was regrounding and cleansing out at camp, out in nature, I was realizing some things that, like, a few days prior, I had just, like, decided that I just wasn't going to worry anymore. Like, what was the point? I walk in faith. I mean, I really couldn't grasp it. Like, my conscious mind started to ask myself, like, what are you worried about in the morning? Like, what are you anxious about? Like, you do know now by now that whatever will be, will be. Like, you already decided to be here. You're just trying to figure out why, like, so much that you already have those answers. So, like, what is the point? So, like, it just stopped. Like, for this past week, it just stopped. Like, I've just stopped. I don't worry about anything. I'm just seriously, like, living day to day, moment by moment. And this is why I wanted to speak to you guys about this Lionsgate portal, this 888 year of the 8. And I wanted to talk to you about what it means from a BlueRay's perspective. Okay, so it also goes along with a new moon on the 6th, which y'all know we love to use for manifesting. Well, at least I do. And I only want to talk to you about the learn teach aspect, because as it popped up on my feed, and it's like the Lionsgate portal. So now I'm looking into this Lionsgate portal, and I'm like, oh, this is why manifestation is just, like, easy, like what you say, what you know. So I want to tell you that if they're not learning teaching, like, meaning they haven't gone through it, so you're watching videos from like 2 years prior on them telling you what, like, you can read on the internet about what it's about, then it's all speculation. It's all subjective because they have not gone through it yet. So I am here to tell you that in this year of 8, like, what's important to us in this Lionsgate portal, especially for BlueRays, like what we have a chance to grasp and gain a hold of, is that the year of 8 represents a balance between the material and the spiritual world. And now, what did I think it was John the Baptist say? Or did Christ say it? Be in the world, but not of it. And chosen, not just BlueRays, this is something that we, like, this is why they say it's our year. Like, this is what we're here to do. We have to, like, let's face it, we have to bring us first, and, like, put the life jacket on first, us and this planet back into harmony and balance. And that's what this year of 8 is all about, right? So, I mean, you guys can read, and I'm sure you have watched tons of videos and read other things about this Lionsgate portal, which apparently has already opened, which I guess makes sense about me being able to manifest so quickly. You know, and you can read up on it, you can whatever, and then, but the most important thing is just to apply it to you, to learn teach, you know. So, you know, it's tough for a BlueRay, because if everything's not learn teach, then it's really like we don't talk, we're not really speaking. Like, if we're not conversing with, like, a learn teach, so I just mixed the rest of my smoothie with some seltzer water. Okay, so man, I am beat from that camping trip, just like emotionally a lot. Ugh, I'll tell you guys about that another time. So basically, what's important to me in this Lionsgate portal is that spiritually we are dissolving karma from past lives, and not just with self. Like me personally, I'm dissolving karmic relationships with people that aren't coming with me to the next life, whether it be me. I mean, I don't want to come back here, but whether it be here, whether it be somewhere else, these people that have been karmically connected to me, they're not coming the next life. They've been identified in this life, and they are not coming in the next one. So this is why you see a lot of people are breaking up with each other. People that you thought were like, oh, they were like soulmates. They were like, oh, I thought they were for like, maybe their contract's over. Maybe part of their contract was dissolving the contract, which leads me to these generational curses that we're also trying to overcome, you know? So, we're breaking these dysfunctional cycles of abuse. And this leads me to what Learn Teach as a Blu-ray, what I have also been going through as well. So we're breaking addictive behaviors, addiction to codependency. You realizing that if you couldn't get one thing, then it had to be another. For me, addiction to anything just results from one thing or behavior being one side of the middle ground, like too far away from that side, the other side and the middle ground, like too far. So, that's just like that's why it's important. This is the best time to rid of any of these addictive, abusive, traumatic, generational, behaviors that we have been carrying with us for eons of time. And especially in this lifetime, let's just talk about like this lifetime for now, right now. So if we're living in this atmosphere, we have to find a way to cope. Come on. We have to find a way to cope. But it must be natural. It must be conscious. And not with substances and people that are very abusive. Okay? The definition of abuse is the improper use of something or someone. Now, even improper is subjective, right? But I think at this point, if you're watching me, like you're conscious enough to know that, what that looks like, improper use of your behaviors, like to self or others, right? Like, yeah, we know, right? So, I like that definition because it's not like, don't smoke that joint if you're overstimulated, Blu-ray. Don't do that mushroom if you're trying to heal the mind, body, and soul from like eons of traumatic time, like that nervous system. Like, don't. No, it's just saying improper use. And as a Blu-ray, where I started, before I kicked like any pharmaceuticals, because as a Blu-ray, we're always looking for a way to numb, because empaths as well, like just being a Hyoka empath, like we feel you. And this is not a very pretty society. This is a very toxic society. Mankind has become very toxic. And, like I said, whether we think we are in control of this or not. The bottom line is we're not, because our spirit still put us in situations and moved us along to this point, whether we wanted to or not. How many times did you wake up and say, I don't want to do this? And you did it anyway. But then you went out there and you used some sort of drug, or you used some sort of substance, even food, to numb yourself, like music, a movie to ignore, a sport to constantly play, something to obsess over, conspiracy theories, like going down rabbit holes, like anything, like tattoos, like anything. Like, how many times just to get through this current life that you knew, like when you were in your dream state, when you were unconscious, like, this is not what I'm here for. I did not come here to pay taxes to some monarchy and die, like some faction and die. Like, I did not come here to do that. I did not come here to just procreate, to be some sort of parent type and follow the rest of the sheep, like you knew, right? So now you're conscious. This is where the true work begins, right? So as I became conscious, it started with the eating. I even realized I was addicted to certain foods. Like, there was like certain gelatin candies that, like, I realized that I had created parasites in my body and in every organ that I had, especially my liver, since like my choice of drug was like an opiate, was some sort of pill to just take the pain away, like an up or a down or like whatever. You know, like marijuana and mushrooms is what cured me. I was never a big pot smoker. And if I was in my natural state. I was like doing my thing. You know, the improper use of anything, like, I'm not condoning the use of anything, but the improper use of anything, the improper use of anger could be a behavior, could go totally wrong. You know what I mean? Like, sadness is okay. It's just, are you improperly using sadness? Like, are you improperly using your sadness to inflict pain on others? You know? So, like, eating was the first. And then I started to realize I had, like, addictions to substances and why I was using them. And then I realized I was addicted to the mind. Like, I was addicted to my thoughts. Okay. Well, let's start using these thoughts for the good. For you, meaning for you, Monica, like, because this is your world, you're manifesting it. Let's change your thoughts and change your reality. And it sounds like such an easy concept before you jump through all that shadow work, all those hoops, like, you know what I mean? Like, finding out, like, delving into the subconscious, like, things of that nature, having an ego death. And then you're like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to speak it. And last week, one night before I went to sleep, I think I mentioned in my last video, I was just like, I'm not worrying anymore. I'm not worried about anything. Like, nothing. Like, I'm not even worried about my children. Like, I know that they're going to be divinely protected and friggin' great. Like, I'm not saying that they're not going to have their ups and downs and feelings of this and that and their trials and tribulations, but what I'm telling you is they're good. Like, they're good. Like, there's just some things you come into knowing. You stop questioning within yourself. Like, I know that my children are kind. I know that they have empathy. I know that they have drive and a great will to live. I know that they have awesome DNA. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I know and they know these things, emotional intelligence, they can figure out anything here. Like, worrying and having a feeling of sadness or thinking on them struggling sometimes and blah blah blah, that love and light shit is not, that's bullshit. You're gonna have sadness, you're gonna have those thoughts, but they're fleeting like water. Like, let them fleet, like the air, just let them, just, they're fleeting. We don't stay in those. That's how we get depressed, you know. But thinking on them and then manifesting, like right after you have that thought, like thinking about them, like smiling and having a good time, like with their friends, with their other family, like just having, like, enjoying life, you know. Like, that's what's, look at this hawk. There's been a lot out looking for food lately. So I feel like this portal is the perfect time. Oh, and that new moon. You know how I like my new moon manifestations, right? Well, that new moon's on the 6th. I feel like we should do something. And another thing, if people are charging you money to do a new moon manifestation with them, or a Lionsgate portal thing on the 8th, don't do it, beloveds. Like, don't. Just don't. Like, you have all the tools you need within to manifest somebody that will do this with you. Because, yes, more than one in his name. Yes, okay. That shit's real, too. Like, more than one of us chosen together is better, or more than, yeah, it's better than just one of us, Singularly, did I say that right? Singularly. So, I'll do something on the 8th. I don't know how to work. Like, if you guys want to leave in the comments, how do I premiere something or put something like live Lionsgate portal manifestation? Like, this activation shit is hilarious too. Like, we're about to just speak into existence what we desire. And that is not, see, that's why I hate using the word desire. I've said this before. We are going to speak into existence what is necessary for us to live in abundance, to live our true spiritual path, our true path, our true soul's journey. Let's manifest seeing past all this shit. Let's manifest healing the trauma-based programming. Like, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like that. It literally can just be as easy as, like, I'm not worrying anymore. Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm not worrying. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not kidding. So, yeah, that's all I got. So, please put in the comments if you guys know how to set up, like, a premiere thing. If not, I'll figure it out. And until then, think about, like, everything I've said. And remember, if they're not learning, teaching, you're watching videos from years ago, it's just all mere speculation. We're going through it now. We're living it now. We're living it now. Okay? So stay peace, stay love, stay light, listen to self.